Next post-processing entity is reports. Using report generation tool in CFD Post, we can create reports quickly and make them customized as well. There are standard templates for reports. A report template automatically gets selected depending on the data in the results. Users can select which predefined objects are to be included in the report. We can also add or modify templates to create our own customized templates. Let us see how to create reports. First, we go to the reports section in the model tree. We say report template after that, after right clicking. Then if automatically selected report template is not desired, we can select a report template to load. There are different report templates like generic report, axial compressor report, centrifugal compressor report. If any of this is not desirable, we can select a report template to load of our own. Then we have to double click on each report object. So there will be title page, file report, mesh report, physics report, solution report. So all these we can modify. And how to add objects in these sections. We have to go to insert, charts, tables, comments, figures, and we can go on adding different images and different charts or plots and tables and expressions. After generating our report, we can click report viewer to see the report. If needed, we can refresh preview, so we can see the report by pressing preview as shown here. This is the sample title page that has been generated. We can also publish report to HTML or a text file. Now there are other useful tools as well. First among them is time step selector. Using this, we can load different time steps from a transient run. We can select the time step selector here. Next is the animation tool. Using this, we can animate objects and create videos or animations. Next is the quick view tool or the quick editor tool. The quick editor tool helps us to quickly change one of the parameters in existing objects. After this, we have the probe tool. Using the probe tool, we can get a variable value. We can pick the location on which we want variable value from the viewer or by entering our own coordinates for the points at which we want the variable value. Now let us see the relevant file formats which can be handled by CFX Post or CFD Post. Several files can be created and used in CFD Post to attain different tasks or to replicate tasks. Let us review the list of those files. First, which are the different files needed to see results? We can use the cfx.res file or the ansys.rst file or the fluent.dat or .cas file to view results. We can import polyline, that is .csv file, user surface.csv file again. We can also import ansys surface, that is .cdb file. We can export profile data, that is .csv file. We can general formatted results .csv file again can be exported, and we can also export ansys load file as .csv file. We can record sessions using the cfx.cse file. We can also record a state in the .cst file, and we can record macros in the .cse file. Let us see what we can import. We can import locations from a .csv file which contain points data which define a polyline or a surface. We can also import ansys surface mesh, that is .cdb. This will allow for export of data at correct node locations. We can also export data files from CFD Post. We can export profiles, boundary data to be used in CFX Pre. We can export general formatted results data. Ansys load data written onto an imported ansys.cdb file can also be exported. Let us see how to create sessions file. Session files can be used to quickly reproduce all the actions performed in the previous CFX Post session. We can record sessions using command language. Also, we can save state file. This saves a snapshot of all objects. For session files, we go to session, play session, and for state file, we go to file load state. Let us now understand an important concept which we see in many result objects in CFX, that is hybrid and conservative plotting. The boundary data that we plot for any variable can be of hybrid type or conservative type. Let us see what these are. For plotting velocity profiles, ANSYS CFD Post uses hybrid values. For quantitative calculations, the conservative values give more accurate results and are used in ANSYS CFD Post when the calculate command is used. What are these hybrid and conservative values? ANSYS CFX calculates solution using finite volume methods. The values of some of the variables on the boundary nodes are not precisely equal to the specified boundary conditions. So what happens when you actually solve the calculations, the velocity on a node on the wall will not be always zero. because of the interpolation techniques that are used in the finite volume elements in the finite volume method or finite volume elements method. So what happens here is that although the boundary condition is zero or no slip velocity, the calculated solution may not depict the same, although it will be very near, but there are some numerical differences that are observed. For visualization purpose, ANSYS CFD post uses hybrid values, that is corrected boundary node values by default for most variables. Hybrid values are obtained by taking the results produced by ANSYS CFX solver and overwriting the results on the boundary node with the specified boundary condition. So velocity is displayed at 0 at on no slip walls using the hybrid values. The conservative values are calculated at wall are not 0 but an average over the control volume. So calculated conservative values are actually the solution values. So what CFX does is, if you want to display the solution values as they are from the finite volume elements method using the interpolation techniques, whatever the boundary values are obtained, they will be displayed as it is, even though they are not exactly equal to the boundary condition. This is known as conservative. If you display it hybrid, the boundary conditions will be overwritten on the solution data, and when you display on near the boundary conditions will be displayed. So for calculation purpose, this is good because mass flow is calculated correctly. A velocity of 0 would produce 0 mass flow through the control volume, which is clearly inaccurate. So for calculation purpose, we use the conservative, but for display purpose, we use the hybrid value. So now to summarize this particular lecture, we have seen different options in CFX Post. We have seen CFX Post is a flexible, state-of-the-art post-processing software of ANSYS, and it can be used to visualize results from CFX. It can also be used to visualize results from Fluent as well, and it is designed to allow easy visualization and quantitative post-processing of results of CFD simulations. We have seen what type of results we can extract, what are the steps to extract different result objects, how to do a CFD result extraction using CFD Post. You are recommended to practice some of the entities that we saw and get yourself familiarized with CFD Post after this particular course. And get yourself familiarized with CFD Post after this particular course. So thank you for viewing this particular course on post processing using CFD Post. See you in the next lecture of this course on CFD modeling using ANSYS CFX.